Untitled Organic Tequila is so crisp, so incredibly smooth, it's simply in a category by itself. This is luxury. Life tastes better naturally, so should your tequila. This is Toledo. Enjoy responsibly. Visit ToledoTequila.com to get your bottle of Toledo Organic Tequila. Get a 10% discount on DJ the Money Coach by entering promo code MONEY at checkout. Again, that's ToledoTequila.com, promo code MONEY to get 10% off your Toledo purchase. Now, let's start the show. Hey everybody, welcome to Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy. A new series brought to you by DJ the Money Coach. So we came to you first with the men, but of course, we do everything in balance. So we're here with the women this time. So we have three phenomenal and powerful Black women for our first episode today. We have Mrs. Cheryl Squalls, an executive for a major insurance company. We have Mrs. Tanya Archibald, a licensed real estate broker for the Great Lakes Property Management Group. And we have Miss Astoria Stubbs, AKA Miss Story. She got a long list of things that she does, hairstylist, cosmetologist, world traveler, entrepreneur, educator, author, all of that. But anyway, you're going to get the stories behind how these women got to where they are and how they got to these positions. But thank you, ladies, for joining us. How are you doing?
Awesome.
Great. Really doing well today.
Okay, great. So to start off this first segment, to introduce this new show, I want you to tell our audience why you're excited about this new series and what they can expect to learn from listening to your life story. So we'll start with you, Cheryl. Why are you excited about this show and what can the audience expect?
Okay, well, thank you for having me on the show, first of all. And I'm really super excited to be on this show with my two girlfriends here that are like-minded, movers and shakers of the world. So really proud to be here. First of all, my name is Cheryl Squalls, and I'm located in Dallas, Texas. And I'm originally from Chicago, but we'll learn a little bit more about me and my backstory in just a little while. But what I wanted to say was I'm very excited about this new series because I think that the discussion here is going to really show, the real, true, authentic me. I'm excited about sharing the authentic me, engaging in topics that's very important to our people, our journey, barriers that we faced, as we've traveled our journeys. I'm very excited about just doing real talk, things that, I've learned over the years, some regrets maybe that I had, opportunities that perhaps I missed, as my friend Tanya said, just some things that I'd like to share with younger women that perhaps the story that I have can help inspire younger women, inspire my people, but yet keep people out of some of the territories that the things that I regret, going through. So maybe things that I didn't do as well as I could have had I known some information like what DJ the Money Coach has taught so many people. If I knew those things, then I would have made different choices.
All right. Thank you for that, Cheryl. Tanya, go ahead. You can go next. What are you excited about and what can everyone expect?
Thanks, Nick and Cheryl. Like you, I am excited. I'm excited to be here with like-minded, positive Black women. And I'm just so excited to just share our story. I mean, and you'll see each of our stories are going to be different, but I'm just so excited that, I'm going to learn from them because we're all lifelong learners. So, so our views, our testimonies, I'm just so excited about that. And if our viewers can just get one thing out of what my journey, that's great. Hopefully they'll get more, but if they can just get one thing that may change the trajectory of their life, I'm satisfied. So one main thing that I know that we're all successful now, but it took a journey. It was a road to get there. And I'm almost positive for any person that's successful, they had to do what? They had to fail first, right? And my thing is failure is not final. So in order to get to that success, we had to travel through some roads. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get into our stories, and you'll see that our roads are probably traveled differently, but we still made it to where we're at today. So.
Right. All right. Beautiful. Okay, Astoria. Go ahead, take it over.
I mean, it sounds like they said everything, but I'm Astoria again. I'm from Houston, Texas. And you'll learn more about that in a second. But like both the ladies says, I'm really excited to show some of the diversity that we bring to the table, because like you said, all of our journeys are different. But what brings us together is the entrepreneurial spirit, how we think about Black families, how we know we should grow our communities. You know, like we have some very, very good common interests with different backstories that can help somebody else. And so I think we all come from different, I'm going to say different eras, because we are all, you know, uniquely diverse. And we can appeal to all audiences. That's how I'll say it.
Very good.
Okay. All right. So thank you for those introductions, ladies. So when we come back from the break, we will start to hear your beginning stories, you know, starting with your early life. So we'll be back after this message.
This is DJ the Money Coach. Thank you for celebrating our 1-year anniversary with us. Thank you for the emails, the videos, and the phone calls. Most importantly, congratulations for the hundreds of people who actually acquired the course. Now it's time to take it to the next level. That's right. Millionaire, Money Made. I'm actually going to teach you live how to earn that 800 credit score through the Family Finance 101 course. I'm going to teach the live 3-hour course to you. That's right. After I do that, we're actually going to bring you 3 steps to success: business, real estate, and leverage the tax laws. And once we achieve that, we're going to show you how to earn with a little bit of investment in the market up to an 80% return, cash on cash return on your money. After we achieve that, we're going to show you how to earn with a minimum investment of $7,500, how to get you to $850 a month in passive income. On top of that, we're going to give you 2 live Zoom trainings with Leonard Ray, 7-figure Forex trainer since 2007, Clarence and Tanya, 7-figure income earners through real estate, over 200 properties they own, and retired at the young age of 40 and 42. All you have to do is register now. Hit that link below, and you'll become part of the Millionaire Money Making May exclusively with Erica Williams and the Classy Climb, brought to you by DJ the Money Coach and the 7 Spheres of Money team. So don't you deserve to be a millionaire next door? Consumer debt free, cash and credit? Absolutely. Hit the link.
Welcome back to Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy, a new series brought to you by DJ the Money Coach. So let's start off by telling your backstories. So Cheryl, how did everything start with your early life up to your teenage years?
So again, my name is Cheryl Astoria, and I grew up Cheryl Robbins. Okay, and I grew up with I'm one of 5. I'm the 4th of 5 children. I grew up with a single mom, hard worker, very wise woman who just really instilled a lot of greatness in us. So we didn't have a lot. We were pretty poor when we were growing up, but actually I didn't know that we were that poor, because we had a lot of love in the home. Although we never saw my mom, we didn't see her a lot. We saw her a little bit on the weekends, whatever, but she was working 2 jobs, busy trying to raise us, keep us all together, okay? But my mother, what she did was she instilled a lot of great wisdom in us every moment that she had. She only had a few moments, but she really made those moments count. And all 5 of us, although we were growing up in a poor neighborhood, had a lot of challenges, you know, in the neighborhood, in that community, but she always tried to expose us to things that would build our dream, that would expose us to people and places and cultures outside of our neighborhood so that we can grow and we can be successful. So she used to drop a lot of nuggets, uh, not a lot of nuggets of wisdom. The little time that she did have, she spent that time really, really putting a lot of greatness and giving us a lot of nuggets, some of the things that we're going to be talking about here today and over the series. So hats off to my mom, Marguerite Robbins. Just wanted to put that shout out there because my siblings and I are who we are today because of her and the things that we learned through her. So I went to high school in two places. So I actually spent my first 2 years of high school in Walls, Mississippi. I went to Horn Lake High School. And the story behind that is I did not like Chicago. I didn't like the south side of Chicago. It was just too much going on there. So I asked my grandmother if I could just come down to Mississippi and live on the land where she raised all of her children, my mother included. And so she was like, yeah, you know, there was some discussion or whatever, but I ended up going down there for 2 years, spending, you know, my freshman, sophomore year there, running track, just enjoying getting to know different people that was outside of the community in Chicago. But by my junior year, I really was homesick for my mother and my siblings. So I ended up moving back to Chicago, where I went to Corliss High School, spent my junior, senior year there. So, but I can say this, I left my heart in Walls, Mississippi. That is where, I think because it was the first time that I was really making my own friends, that these were my friends. These were my mom's friends' kids, or the kids at the church. These were friends that I had. And some of my best friends to this day still down in Walls, Mississippi. So shout out to all my friends.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for that, Cheryl. Oh, okay, Tanya, how was early life for you?
Early life for me was wonderful. I grew up in Maywood, Illinois, which is a small town west of Chicago. And at the time, it was, you know, when I was growing up, it was a middle class area. Grew up with a 2-parent home, loving parents. And I must say that they're both on to be with the Lord at this time. So I'm getting a little choked up talking about all the love that they instilled in us. But I was the youngest of 4 children. I was the baby. My siblings were stair-step kids. They were all a year apart. And then I was called the oopsie child 6 to 7 years later. So I was truly the baby. Again, as you grow up, you realize some of your personality is developed from where you were at in terms of the order of your siblings. So I was the baby, but again, instilled so much love. My parents, I have to say, neither one of them finished high school, but because of their hard work and perseverance and how they treated money, they were able to make a wonder. I've never went without. I didn't know. And as a matter of fact, my parents, we were the Kool-Aid house. So not only did they, you know, house us and were parents to us, they were parents to many in the neighborhood. And again, from that upbringing, we're going to start. That's how Clarence and I are. So it's, again, a pattern. So grew up. When we first moved there, it was we were the only Black family on our block. But by the time I actually went to school, in grammar school, it became predominantly Black pretty quick. So pretty quick there. So and then I went to Provider Louise High School. All along, I was the baby. I was the scholar of the family. But I've always been very, okay, you're gonna exceed. I mean, I had that pressure on me saying that you're gonna exceed. And everyone always supported me. And I was also a track star. So again,
Hey.
I was a track star. So again, went to high school, At that time, it was predominantly Black high school, Proviso East High School, excelled in high school, with number 6 in my class. So always was scholarly, always was an athlete. So there we have it. Again, I love my childhood. I have so many friends still from childhood. I mean, a lot of my friends are still from that tight-knit community that we had, and it's truly a tight-knit community. And so I would shout out to Maywood. Yeah, so that's it. So
I know this isn't about me, but I had to add this in here that I ran track also. And Astoria too. Okay, we don't get to Astoria now.
I have to say, I missed my prime to go to the state track meet. That's how dedicated I was. So I didn't go to my prime at all.
That happened to me too.
Okay,
that happened to me too. It's always that time of the year.
Yeah,
actually, we're actually in championship season now. Yeah, around.
It's ironic because we were pushing it, trying to get back from state, actually.
For your prime.
Yep, and we did make it.
Yeah. Well, we did have a prom. They gave us a mock prom. They even put the baton and I'm like, I don't want all that. So
that's cool. Right, well, it's cool that all 4 of us actually ran track.
Yeah. And even on the men's show, Ron Harris said he ran track too. So I'm like, wow, all these track stars on the 7 Spheres of Money platform.
Yes, indeed.
All right, Astoria, go ahead, take it over. Talk about your early life.
All right. Well, Astoria, I am from Houston, Texas, by way of McGee and Mount Olive, Mississippi. Meaning that's where my family is from. I'm the baby of 6, but I am the only one that was born in Houston, Texas. Everyone else was born. My oldest sister I'm the oops baby. We're 15 years apart. So she is like my other mama. So we got 2 mamas. So my childhood was very cool. I honestly, I ran track as well. My dad ran track, so I just kind of followed that thing. I was not as dedicated as y'all for in school track. I was more of a summer track person, so I did state for summer track and regional Olympics, summer Olympics, that kind of stuff. For school, I wasn't missing my prime. So yeah, that when season was over, it was over. Bam. So yeah, I did all my school through Klein. I went to a really, really big school district outside of Houston, which was in Klein ISD. So my graduating senior class was 1,800 people. Yeah. And of all of those people, I was the person that was in every single community and curricular activity you could think of. I ran track. I was also a manager for the basketball team. I traveled with football sometimes. I basically was in African American Heritage Society, STUCO, so student council. And I was in cosmetology school at the same time. So my junior and senior year, I did cosmetology programs. So I got my license while I was in high school. But even before I got to that part, my dad is an entrepreneur. So he literally started his business probably when I was like 8 or 9 or something like that. And all I remember is working. If I wasn't in the summertime at my grandmother's house out in McGee, I was working in his business. And so when I probably turned about 12 years old, 12 or 13, I actually started working for real, answering the phones, learning about business, making invoices, all that stuff. And the funny thing I always tell people is when I turned 16, you can start getting taxes taken out. So I learned who Uncle Sam was real
quick.
When you get paid cash, when you making, let's say this $10 an hour, because my dad paid me well, you making $10 an hour when you 13, 14 years old, right? $50, $60 to you for a couple of hours is a lot of money. So then when you get taxes and you start working, 20 hours in a week, and you be like, what happened to my money? I know I was supposed to get, $200, and that's not what happened. So I learned a lot of skills and stuff when I was in business, like from business from him at a young age. And then like you guys, all of my friends, my church friends are pretty much my core group of friends now. My mother did not let me stay at anybody's house but one other person. So if I want to spend the night somewhere, it was more like they was coming to our house. I wasn't going to nobody's house. I had to be home matter of fact, she was at the door at 11:30 talking about, you need to come outside. If you don't come outside, I'm coming inside to get you. So I have much older parents, so you can understand, kind of the dynamic. But it seems like we all have really cool, similar upbringing, city, big city life, big city / country life at the same time, which is cool. So that's pretty much me.
Right,
That's cool.
right. Yes, big city life. A panel full of track stars, high school track stars in the literal sense of the sport. And then, as you will see in this series, also these symbolic or figurative track stars, passing batons to one another. Yes. But when we return, we will get the college year story, which will be very interesting. So we'll be back with Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy.
Hello everyone, my name is Ashley Canty, and in the 3 months I've been working with Darrensburg International, I have been able to save a lot of time through having access to their team of advisors. Having that professional feedback has enabled me to make better decisions and avoid common pitfalls when it comes to handling my finances. The next benefit has been from the amount of money I've been able to accumulate through smarter investments. And last but not least, I've been able to, I've started to build my emergency fund as well as my retirement fund, which is great because once upon a time I would get my paycheck, pay my bills, and then I wasn't sure what to do with the remainder of my money. I just knew I didn't want to waste it. Now, with the help of DJ, I have a clear vision of where my money should go and where I should put it so that it can continue to grow over time. If you're wondering if this would be a good investment of your money, I would say yes. Yes, because if you implement and stick to the plan in the long run, this program will pay for itself and you will continue to benefit off of your better decision making, your savings, as well as your investments for the long run.
Welcome back to Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy, a new series brought to you by DJ the Money Coach. So we just heard from the ladies of their upbringing and early life stories. So now let's transition into the college years. So Cheryl, tell us about how your college years were.
Well, before we go there, I wanted to make a comment on something that my sister Astoria just said about taxes. So I wanted to chime in when she was talking about those taxes because I may be dating myself here, but I remember when I worked in high school, I worked at Continental Bank in high school. And I was in some kind of program where, I went to school for half the day and then, I found a job in, some career path or whatever. And so I actually worked at Continental Bank when I was in high school, my junior and my senior year, all the way up until I got ready to go off to college. Well, when I was in high school, if I remember correctly, I think high schoolers were exempt from taxes. But I do remember when I went to college and I started working in one of those work studies and I didn't get all my money. Like you said, it's like, where's the rest of my money? And they said, they took that out in taxes. I was like, well, what is that? What is taxes? So yeah, I've hated taxes ever since high school. And I think I've paid taxes now for about, it's been at least about 35 years. So yeah, I wonder if I'm gonna get my reap the benefits of all the taxes that I paid.
I'm getting my money. No, I'm just playing.
Listen, I'm with you. I'm with you.
I'm getting it.
Get my
All
money.
the talks
They gonna
about
give
that, all the talks that it may not be there when we retire. No, I'm getting my money now.
Listen, you're gonna give me my money one way or another.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, with that said, I went to college in Carbondale, Illinois. I went to SIU, Southern Illinois University. So I'm a Saluki. Whoop whoop. I had a really good time in college. I majored in paralegal studies, and I ended up going there for my graduate school years too, where I majored in public administration. So I have a master's in public administration. But I had such a great time in college. My sister was already, in the college at SIU. She was, when I came in as a freshman, she was a junior already. She was running track. She was running track also. She was there on the track scholarship. So I thought, you know what? I'm going with my sister. And we just had a blast. It was so much fun just being on campus with her. And then 2 years later, my younger brother graduated high school. He was looking for a college to go to. Where did he go? He went to Southern Illinois University also. And the three of us were there. It was a blast. We partied together. We saw each other on campus. We went to church on Sunday together. And back then, they didn't feed you on Sunday. So the cafeteria was closed. So my sister and I would have dinner and invite my brother over and my some of our friends, whatever, and we would just have a Sunday dinner every Sunday. It was just a lot of fun. So I was still on my grind too, though. So like Tanya said, I've always been a reader. I've always been somebody that just loved school. I just couldn't imagine when I was in school not being in school, because I loved school like that. And but I graduated and went to back to Chicago, where I got a job as a human resources representative at a company on the west side of Chicago. And after working there for about a year, maybe a little bit over a year, just wasn't, it just wasn't everything that they promised me when I came out of school. So I was looking for an opportunity to do something different. Didn't know, I had no direction at the time. I didn't know what I was going to do. So I decided I was going to get in my car and drive to Houston, Texas, where I was going to start a new life, because my brother and his wife had laid down some roots in Houston, Texas from Chicago. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to go there. Maybe I'll get a job. I really ultimately wanted to go to law school, and I had my eyes set on Thurgood Marshall Law School, whatever. So, but I was going to be driving from Chicago to Houston all by myself. So I decided to break my trip up. And what I did was I said, okay, well, Chicago to Carbondale is about 5 hours away. So what I'm going to do is stop in Carbondale, reminisce about the campus, maybe see some old friends. My brother was still in Carbondale, still in school at the time. So I thought, I'll just go there and just hang out on campus a little bit, have some fun and whatever. Then I was going to go to Memphis, which was another 3.5 hours away, spend some time over there with my grandparents, some family members, just hang out there. I really had no agenda. And then from there, I was going to drive from Memphis to Houston, Texas. But as I was in the student center, just looking around, being amazed at, just the growth that had taken place on campus, so many great things that they built into the student center in just like a year and a half that I had been gone. I was just looking around in amazement, and one of the vice presidents of the university saw me in the student center, and he stopped me and he's like, hey, didn't you graduate last year or so? And I'm like, yeah, I did. He says, well, what have you been doing? So I told him that I was working on, as human resource representative. It just wasn't everything they promised me when I came out of school. I was looking for a new opportunity, and I told them that I was on a long drive going to Houston, Texas, and I was just going by faith. And he asked me, and I told him that I wanted to get back in school because, again, I said I love school, right? So he asked me if I had ever considered coming back to Carbondale to SIU to go to school there, go to law school, whatever. And I was like, well, yeah, I consider it, but I didn't have any money. And I told him that I didn't have any money. I hadn't prepared to get into school. I was just on a journey. And he offered me that day to, if I decided to come to SIU, to go to the graduate school, get an application, fill it out, get my references, and then he said, bring it to my office, and we'll see what we can do. Well, I did everything that he told me to do. I ended up getting my references, filling out that application that night. Okay, that next day at like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, I was back in his office. I actually beat him to work. And I had my application completed. Just excited about, what can you do for me? So he gave me a job on campus, a graduate assistantship, where I just worked for the graduate school for 20 hours. I worked for him for another 20 hours in a program where I mentored young students that were coming in from the inner city that maybe needed to have some study skills and some study habits or whatever. So I ended up doing that for 2 years, and he paid for all my tuition and gave me $1,000 a month to live on, a stipend. Wow. And so that's how I got through grad school. And I started taking law classes. I took like 2 law classes, and money ran out because he didn't have a grad assistantship for the law school. So I ended up just taking my master's and going back to Chicago and starting, my professional life from there. But, I really had a great time in Carbondale. Again, it was just a blast going to school with my siblings, just memories of a lifetime that I could, just priceless.
All right,
Awesome.
right. Beautiful.
Awesome.
Yes. Thank you for that. Okay, so Tanya, tell us about your college years. Where you attended college and what that experience was like.
Wow, I had an opportunity. I had a track scholarship, and then I had an academic scholarship. So again, making the choices. Life is about choices, right? So I chose to go to Purdue University in West Lafayette, Indiana. I majored in electrical engineering, and at the time, well, it still is one of the top engineering schools. So I would say college was some of the best years of my life. I would, again, it's a predominantly white university with like 50,000 students. So it was kind of, I wouldn't say a culture shock. It was more of a shock of, wow, this is huge. Our lecture halls were over 500 students in the lecture hall, which brings me to one of my first classes was in physics. And I go to a lecture hall, and I see another Black person. Yay. I see someone that looks like me. Sit down. This guy was just so cocky. He was so irritating. And I'm like, why he has to be so irritating? Long story short, that's ended up being my husband, but we didn't start dating then. But just like, man, why did this guy have to be the most irritating person? So, but anyways, so we both was in electrical engineering. And so it was a pretty tough program, but I definitely had a very, very good time in college, was involved in organizations. I'm pledged in the sorority. I'm Delta Sigma Theta sorority. So definitely I have sisters for life all over the world. And Clarence and I actually started dating my husband our junior year. We had classes together. We knew each other, but we didn't start dating until junior year. And I would say, and again, we're both in electrical engineering, very, very tough program. And we both walked around across the stage in December of '93. except it was two of me walking across the stage. So I would say that. And I would just say a lot of people would think saying, hey, you're pregnant. How are you going to get through this? You know, you're pregnant. You got one more year to go. Many people would have stopped. But I would just say my faith and my support that I had. And that's something that I didn't really talk about from my growing up. You know, I was family full of faith. I wouldn't have got through it without my praying grandparents, my praying parents. And so I just look at that as a crossroad. Most people would look at me and say, hey, how are you going to do this? You're pregnant. How are you going to get through it? But I just, again, that was an obstacle. That was, you know, I could have quit, but God, thank God I did not. So graduated, got my EE degree just like everyone else. And I told my daughter she's very smart right now because she got a degree at 0 months old. But again, I wouldn't change anything at all. Again, I would think that Purdue really challenged me, and it really helped me in my professional years because I had that diversity. I understood how it was to be the only Black person in there, and still was able to work hard and be successful. So again, I wouldn't change it. If I would, I look at it and say, if I would have took the track scholarship at this school, I wouldn't have met my husband and wouldn't have the family, and we wouldn't have the legacy that we have. So, and again, if I would have quit when any obstacle came my way, especially i.e. Not going the route that most people thought I would go, you just got to, you know, keep your eye on the prize and keep the faith. So, all right.
Very nice.
Wow.
Very
Wow.
nice.
Yeah, that's
Phenomenal.
Yeah, that's an experience right there to be on such a large campus, to be, you know, one of the few Black people on campus, to be dealing with a young Clarence during that time.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and to pledge and to have a child too, all before you graduate. That's wow. That's an experience right there. And as a side note, I attended, you know, my alma mater is your founding organization's campus. Yep. Howard University. Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
University. Yes.
Yep.
Well, you know, you went a route that now that I look back on life, I said, you know, I wish I had at least gone to a historically Black college, either my undergraduate or my graduate years, you know, because I would have loved just to have that experience. Yeah, I
think that would be a very good topic for the future, because I'm
about to give it to you.
We got somebody. Okay.
Yeah, because I think I would love, this is a great discussion, because I think there's so much value in both. And I can look, especially when I was doing recruiting, I can see is a difference, and I just love it, because I look at it, and I look at people that went to historically Black colleges. They come out and it's just like they want to own it. They just I can't explain it.
There's a pride there
so well, and they wear it so proudly. And
there's a pride.
It's so much prideful, and my hats go off.
Like you said, though, you know, with yours 50,000 students, you know, it wasn't that, it was predominantly white. I went to school, it was 36,000 kids. There were like 3,000 Blacks on the campus. So predominantly white also. But you know, I really enjoyed having that experience, and that it got me out of my culture, you know, and it introduced me to things that I probably never would have been introduced to if I hadn't gone to SIU and been around, you know, so many other cultures, you know, just met people from all walks of life. And it just opened my eyes to a lot of things that I think, you know, coming up in the inner city of Chicago, just being segregated just to my people or whatever, it really was an eye opener. Sometimes it was a culture shock. You said, before, well, I'm not going to say culture shock. Well, I'm going to say it. It was a culture shock to me because, I had never been really around that many, people outside of my own race before, and learning from them. And that's where I really learned a lot about travel, some of the things about financial matters, just sitting listening to some of the students and what their parents had and everything. I was just like, y'all got that? I didn't even know it was possible.
My roommate's father was the president of Boeing. So he would come with his private jet. And I used to love when they came because we ate good. but why it was a shock for us, it was a shock for others as well. Because I met many people, they had never seen a Black person before, ever. Some of them lived on farms, they had never seen a Black person. So we all was there learning from each other. And so that was just what was so amazing. So I would love to hear Astoria from
Astoria. Tell us about how it was to go to the historical Black colleges.
Let me tell you this first of all. The pride that I have for going to HBCU, and I'll tell you this, everybody else is gonna be like, well, I applied to multiple schools. I knew what school I was going to from the time I was 5 years old. Okay. I'm a third generation graduate of the Jackson State University. So okay. Okay. Where Deion Sanders is now our head coach for the football team. Okay. So when you talk about that pride, like we're very prideful about our experiences. You guys are from Chicago, so you have a different experience, as in like people from the South moved to Chicago, right? My family is from Mississippi, so you have to think about, even though I came in a different era, Mississippi is racist, I don't know, and I experienced a lot of racism when I was here, lived here. But at the same time, it was a great experience. It taught me a lot of stuff. So my experience is opposite of yours. My high school, although I am from Houston, I live in the hood, I was bused to a school that was 20 minutes away. So I went to a predominantly white high school, but we had our Black niche of people. So I was not culture shocked when I went to Jackson State, because I've been going to Jackson since I was a kid. It was like my brother was a police officer in Jackson. So the funny thing is my tags, I bought a car when I was in Mississippi, my junior, sophomore year or something. My tag said Texas girl, because I was like, y'all gonna know I'm from Texas. I ain't from Mississippi, I'm from Texas. And so anytime he would hear my tag on the thing, you just imagine your brother showing up or telling him, nah, let her go, she good, like, whatever. Interesting, although it was racist, I had interesting connections and different things within the school. But I went to Jackson State. I only applied there. When I drove down to move into the campus, it was a very emotional experience for my mom and for my dad, because neither one of them graduated from college. My grandmother went to Jackson State. She got multiple associate's degrees, but never got like a complete graduate degree. My dad went to Jackson State, but never graduated from Jackson State. I have other family members that went to HBCU. So we're all like SWAC family, Mississippi Valley, Alcorn, all those things. And it just so happened that I went to, started my freshman year, right at the time that Hurricane Katrina happened. So I went to campus, and a week later, Hurricane Katrina happened. Jackson is only 150 something miles from New Orleans. We get all the backlash of all the stuff that happened. My president actually was a former student at Tulane University. So half the Tulane campus lived in our gym my freshman year. So like my college experience started off like crazy, because we didn't have like school. It was school, but it was like everybody displaced. We don't know what we're doing.
Right.
Kind of like the pandemic right now, right?
At the same time.
The pandemic.
Yeah. My niece went to Xavier during the hurricane. That was her freshman year, so you're probably about the same age. Yeah. And so we have family in Memphis, so it was great she was able to go to Memphis. But her
Yeah.
experience is crazy, just like yours.
Yeah, it was just so, it was crazy but that week, because I was on campus, and I have to say this week because that was like the one week that stood out for me because I had just started. Luckily, my aunt lives in Mississippi, a few miles from campus. So I was on campus. I had just got my job, my little work study with the basketball team. So I had met a few people, and one of my best friends that lives in Dallas, we connected because we lived in the dorms together. We all go to one of the guys' apartments. They're the only people that had like power. And then a couple days later, I ended up going to my aunt's house, and we drove. It was so funny. Me and my cousin drove from Jackson to Dallas, and I took a flight from Dallas back to Houston just because my mama was like, no, my baby ain't staying out there. She got to go, to hurry up and do that. And so ironically, at the same time, and I told you my dad was an entrepreneur. He owned one of the largest Black-owned bus companies in Houston, Texas. He was one of the only Black businesses already in with FEMA, and was one of the first buses that showed up at the bridge.
Wow.
Nice.
So it's the dynamic of it is kind of interesting, knowing that my dad is out here saving other people, and my mama and them over here trying to figure out how to get me back home to do whatever. So, but great college years. I studied marketing, and then decided that I wanted to go into entrepreneurship. And so the year that I was getting ready to graduate, they started an entrepreneurship program. And so I could have graduated early, but I to stay an extra year. So I graduated in 2009, and then I graduated again in 2010 with an entrepreneurship degree from Jackson State. And so the way that kind of happened was I worked the whole time I was in school. I am the epitome of a hustler, okay? You doing hair, I was doing hair in the dorms. Had a beauty salon on campus. I worked in the beauty salon in the morning before classes. I worked after classes. On Sundays after the football games, because HBCU, we ready for football game on Saturday, okay? We like, ain't about to play, it's bomb, okay? All the girls done sweated their hair out at the club. I was doing washing sets on Sunday morning in the salon, like we about to get this money, these coins.
That's right.
And so I was doing that, and I still pretty much was able to graduate in the allotted time span. I actually won, they did a pitch competition for small businesses. I won that the first year they did it. I won first place, won $1,500. And that's kind of how, it's crazy. That's kind of how my story kind of met with DJ, because I told him about that contest and about the business dreams and the things that I wanted to do from that, which ended up being probably 7 or 8 years later by the time I met him. But that was the foundation of those things. So I loved my HBCU. And then in 2016, I decided, I guess I should go get a graduate degree. So I went to U of H downtown. So I got my, the other experience. I'll put it that way. I'll call it
the other experience.
The one that everybody else get.
Yeah.
And so the difference is you're not on campus when I did my graduate program. I was out into my professional career and working and doing that stuff. But I met a lot of lifelong friends there as well, because it was on a professional level and a little bit different. A little bit of both. But what I will say is if you could encourage young people to go to HBCUs, I think it's underrated. Like, I think they think it's you're not going to get the academics. But I had this one teacher, his name is Dr. J.R. Smith, and he is still there. He told us that the curriculum at every single university is exactly the same. The difference is what the professor is going to teach you at what level and what test he's going to give you. And so what he told us was, y'all go to Yale, y'all go to Harvard, you at Jackson State, but you're going to get this education. And so he drilled us, and he was my marketing department director at that time too. So he drilled us. We had to take 5 classes from that man. When I say I got my education, like I got the experience, but don't think it's like a cakewalk thing.
Yeah. No, and that's what I think. Go ahead.
Misconception. Oh, I was saying, sometimes the misconception is that it's easier, but it's not. And before you say that, Tanya, as my daddy said, we all graduated. Oh Lordy, not
That's right.
Oh Lordy.
Oh Lord.
Woo, we made it through.
Exactly. And I think college is not, I mean, half the stuff that I learned, I don't even, whatever. It's just about the experience, what you make. And so I really do think that. And your networking and all of that. So college, the thing is just to get it. I don't care how you get it, but just get your degree. And if you've have the ability to do to go and get higher, advanced degrees. I was able to do that. My job paid for it. If you have it, it's so many people that their jobs are paid for and they don't take advantage of it. And it's just something that if your job will match you or help you, take advantage of it. That's free money, so, as I call it, and free learning. So,
but with college, like you said, Tanya, you're gonna learn. Any job that you go into, they're going to teach you their culture. They're going to teach you their processes, their workflows, and things like anything that you need to be successful. But what college teach you isn't, really, I mean, it's more about the thought process. It's more about teaching you how to be analytical, logic, being a logical thinking. It stretch you like no other time will stretch you. And just think about this. Just think about this, lady. When have you ever been submerged in an environment where there was just everywhere you look, there was like-minded people that was on the same grind that you were on, people that was trying to educate themselves. I mean, think about your circle of life. You may have a couple people, some really close-knit people that are educated. Maybe some of them have associate's degree or higher, degrees of higher learning or whatever. But an environment where there's like 50,000 people, 36,000 people, 12,000 people, and all y'all talking about, getting on your business. I just remember it being in college and sitting around just dream building, talking about how we were going to just get out and just conquer the world, and talked about, how we were going to do that, different steps, and, learning from each other and everything. That is what college is about. It's not so much about, you going and learning about business. A child, any business you go into, they're going to teach you their ways, their culture, their everything. So I encourage every kid, especially our children, if possible, to get outside of our communities and go to college. Whether you go to college, at a state school, go to college at HBCU, mix it up. Go to, do your undergraduate at one and grad school at another or whatever. Just go out there and get that education, get that paper, get that experience, and it'll help you to mature in ways that you'll never be able to get again.
And I love Astoria that now, because I can say when we were in college, we didn't have that entrepreneurial track that we could have went down in terms of studies. That we didn't have degrees like that. So I really, really love that. That is a curriculum and a degrees for that, because when we didn't. So we were taught, you're going to school, you're going to get this degree, and you're going to work for someone else. So it's so amazing that that we're kind of changing things, and I think we're doing it not just for whatever, because we're so far behind in a lot of other countries in a lot of things, because we're always so trained this way. So kudos to that. I love it, entrepreneurship, because what I can say, even though I don't right now, we get to it. I'm not, my profession right now is not what I went to school with. I'm an entrepreneur, truly an entrepreneur, but I have that degree and I can I can fall back on that anytime I want. So while I know we want to do the entrepreneur, right? And some people we're feeding that, you don't have to go to school, and you don't. But I have this. I can go get a job if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Right now, today, because I have that degree. And so I know this is probably not the I'm an advocate of, if you can get it, go ahead and get it.
Well, what you got was not really a degree. You got educated.
Yeah.
You got educated.
But you know what? I know I got a degree because I can get educated without a degree. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But to the world, I have a degree.
And you have to have that degree to get into the door.
That's what I'm saying. This degree got me to where I need to go. And then I can use my education, as I said, to get me further. But that degree got you in the door. Without that, I couldn't have got into there. So I knew what I was saying. No, I got a degree. I'm educated in other ways, just not more than what they told me. I'm educated in other ways. But that degree got me there so I can get more educated and get into places where I was able to go. So I
agree with that, because a lot of the education that I got, even money matters, it didn't come from college. It didn't come while I was getting that degree. All the money matters, the things that I understand about money, it came from all types of sources, people, references, networking, just talking, reading books, that kind of thing. Failures, that we had, that we said, well, how did we get here? We did this, and this, and we should have gone down this path. So you're right. The education, it comes, education is a lifelong.
Still learning.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say this. I do not disagree with you, Tanya. I'm just going to say it in this manner. I don't disagree with getting a degree. I think you should get a degree. I think that is feasible if you can get it. But what I will say is that for us, for Black people, for Black families, because we're talking about Black families, I think that a trade is more valuable to you than any degree could ever give you.
Yeah, and when I say degree, I should say trade, any of that.
Yeah, it could be any of that.
Yeah. Because you just said degree. It can get you into it. You're right.
Yeah, it could be any of that.
A trade. Any type of, because I'm not saying thank you.
Yeah, because no problem. Because at the end of the day, I have my degree, but I have my cosmetology and barber license, and I can whatever. And so a lot of times, I think people discredit trades or things like that. I'm not saying you do, but I'm just saying, like, in general, people discredit it and don't consider things as careers, when in actuality, as a hairstylist and barber, this
no
a door, because you're gonna come sit in my chair. You're the executive, whether it be man, woman, whoever, right? How about DJ cutting his son's hair, talking, and you see what I'm saying? And my brain ain't even right. So I think a lot of times we just discredit, but I think degrees are great. But I will say this, and I hope we do a series on this, but we should teach students about, when they do go to school, understanding their debt ratio versus that's a whole nother thing. I'm just saying, so we can make sure we talk about that on a later episode.
Because you have some people going and getting in debt $70,000-$100,000 for a $30,000 job. I understand that.
Right.
So yes. I understand. I think we're talking on the same wavelength. I do, because I shouldn't just say degree, certificate, whatever you need. Trades are awesome. So
because you know what, my daughter, being a mom, and of course, you want your kids to go down the route that you think that they should go down to be successful. Well, my daughter, she started out going to school to be a nurse. She was in a nursing program, and she was in college and everything, and she decided that she was going to drop out of nursing school and go to cosmetology school. So
it happened.
I was very disappointed in that. I'm going to be honest with you. I was very disappointed, because I was just like, no, you need your degree, this, that, and the other. But when I tell you that my daughter is doing awesome, she's doing amazing. She went to school, got her cosmetology. I think she got, I don't know, she does makeup or something too. And then she decided to go back and get her teaching certificate or in cosmetology.
Instructor.
Instructor's license. Yeah. And so she's doing that, you know, she can do her hair on the side, you know, on the weekends or whatever, when she's not doing her instructing, you know, so she can make her money. She's living on her own. She's, you know, she's doing very, very, very well. She opened up she has a, like a shea butter business. And she's an entrepreneur on the side, on top of, you know, doing hair, on top of, you know, teaching at the beauty school, just really doing a great job. Okay. But she didn't go the traditional route that you know, we wanted her to go. Yeah, we really wanted her to go and get that degree, so that she can say, you know what, I got my degree, I can fall back on it or whatever. But no, she went her path. She went, you know, took her journey, and now she's doing a good job. She's an entrepreneur, and she's employed. She's employed on her own. I mean, you know, she's got her own business, and she does hair on the side. So she's doing well. She's doing well.
Let me go ahead.
She sound like a mini me.
All right, let me go ahead and jump in here because we need to go to a commercial break. But just a couple of things, you know, that I heard before we go to that break. For one, obviously, this has to be a topic in of itself, and I'm keeping track of everything. You know, I got the you know, the regrets and the successes. I got the taxes. I got the PWIs versus the HBCUs, the entrepreneurship, and the whole, you know, college experience. And you know, DJ the Money Coach, he's expressed how he wished he attended an HBCU, you know, several times. And also when he gives his backstory, he also talks about the debt that he racked up, you know, from his college education. So that will definitely have to be a topic by itself. And when Astoria, when me and you talk about the HBCU experience, yes, we're going to talk about the pride, but we're also going to talk about the pain and the frustrations too. So, you know, there's always you know, another side to it, but you know, always a balance.
And also on the other side, I can't wait for that too, because it's so much. Because coming from a corporate world, I would like to share my story on how things were on the corporate side of it. And but I think it's changing, and I'm so excited, you know, it's changing. So
oh yeah, I'm writing that down too, those corporate experiences, because that's something that, you know, both you and Cheryl, you know, have in common, you know, working on the corporate side. But yeah, so when we come back from the break, we will bring things up to speed to today. And we'll have the ladies talk about their professional accomplishments, how they got to where they are now. And yeah, then we'll wrap up. So stay tuned. You are watching Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm DJ the Money Coach. Don't touch that dial. You want to become financially independent? You want to have consumer debt freedom? You want to have passive income, learn how to build a business, acquire real estate, and achieve the lifestyle you deserve in 2021? Well, hit that link below right now. We've worked with over 20,000 people in the past 2 decades, helping them become consumer debt free, increase their credit scores by 30 to 60 points in 30 days or less, and help them acquire businesses through real estate, taxes, and a network of experts just like me. So you'll get a complete 3-hour, 18-module course called Family Finance 101 that'll teach you A to Z how to become consumer debt free, credit worthy, and it puts you in position to become a certified entrepreneur. We'll also give you a complimentary consultation with me that's a $500 value. Why would you want to do that? Because I have already achieved that, and I can help you achieve your American dream in 2021. Hit the link below, get the free webinar and the complimentary consultation, and I'll see you soon and wish you a pom-pom lifestyle that's plenty of money and peace of mind. Come join us.
Welcome back to Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy. We're going to go ahead and close this thing out by bringing these beginning stories up to date. So we heard about the early life, up through high school. We heard about the college years. Now let's talk about how these women got to where they are now. So starting with Cheryl. So Cheryl, tell us how did you get into the insurance industry and some of the accomplishments that you've experienced during over the course of your career?
Mm-hmm. Well, when I came out of college, I was working in my field. I had an internship downtown Chicago. I was working for the city of Chicago in the mayor's office, the Public Building Commission, to be exact. And I spent about a little over a year there at the Public Building Commission. Because it was an internship or whatever, I was still looking for a job, a permanent job. And one of my roommates from college was working at an insurance company, one of the largest insurance companies, in the United States. And because I was, kind of belly aching about, I can't find a job, I'm looking for something in the public, sector or whatever. She said, well, why don't you come over here and join me? What I'm doing at this insurance company. So I joined her, and I didn't really, insurance didn't tickle my fancy at first, because like who dreams of going to school and getting your degree to go work for an insurance company? What is that? So, but after I got there at the insurance company, I really fell in love with what I do, because, we just help so many people. I know sometimes, the insurance industry gets a bad rap. People, think that the insurance company is just out to, deny people from getting their benefits or what have you. But I've never been asked to do anything immoral, illegal, unethical. We seek for ways to, we just do the right thing. And I just fell in love with what I'm doing. And I've been in my company now. It's been about 26, 27 years, something like that. I have, I've been a claim representative in different parts of, the auto industry. I've been in a supervisory position, and now I'm a manager with one of the public, the personal injury protection departments. So just really love what I do. I love helping people, and I get a chance to do that every day through my career.
Right. All right. Thank you, Cheryl. And on another episode, we'll have to, dig a little deeper into that corporate experience and talk about, the ins and outs of that. And,
absolutely.
Some of the challenges that you face, being a Black woman, for sure,
Absolutely.
You touch on that a little bit in your interview, but, we want to bring you back to the panel, and have Tanya talk about it as well. So we'll go over and transition over to Tanya. So Tanya, we heard you say that you went to school for engineering, and then you worked in engineering for a while, but you're not doing that anymore. How'd you go from engineering to entrepreneurship in real estate? Like how did that happen?
How did that happen? Exactly. And it didn't just happen for me, it happened for my husband as well. So we both again received our electrical engineering degrees from Purdue University. I actually took a job with Motorola. So I actually was an engineer, whereas he went the sales route. So worked in the media industry, because after that we were both in Chicago, but his job transitioned us to right outside of Detroit, Southfield, Michigan. So we moved as early, well, we did get married, and after that we did move here to Detroit. He's in sales, I'm in engineering. Loved it. I was worked my way up through corporate. Again, one of the things that I said that Purdue helped me with was, again, here I am in an industry that's no one else in the industry that looked like me, And so I would have to say, going up the corporate ladder, I'll have to say I had to work twice as hard for the same position, even though I was more educated, more, or I would say that in a lot of things, I had to work twice as hard. But that's okay, because that's what I was doing all my life anyway. So did that, loved it. But all while we were doing that, we always had that entrepreneur type mind. So even though I was working my 9 to 5, Clarence and I, we were in so many type of businesses. We started off with multi-level marketing, which I would say was a great foundation for us. And Cheryl, we were in multi-level marketing, where we did a lot of learning and training and reading books and just getting our minds for something other than working for someone else. So I would say that was our great foundation. And it came to the point where we had Clarence had an opportunity to leave. And then I've always had the decision, if I want to, he always say, did you want stability? What do you want? And I said, I want both, but in my mind, because I really didn't have stability. I really didn't have it there. I found out I really didn't, because at the snap of a finger, I had to lay a lot of people off. And it was easy for me to fire, I shouldn't say fire, but let people that wasn't doing their job go. But to let people that were doing phenomenal jobs go was that hurt. So I realized that this, corporate America, for me at the time, while it gave us a good living, we were both doing really well. I needed more, and I needed to impact more. And so we transitioned into real estate. We had many businesses. And again, we failed. We had a restaurant, we had a catering business. Guess what? Failed. Again, that's my thing. Failure is not final, but those failures led us to what we have today. And that's in our real estate. That became our niche. He left in 2006. I left it. And when he left, it was great. I mean, good. I've still had that quote unquote stability. When I left, everybody thought we were fools. But again, stepping out on faith. And that's what we did. And I can't say it's always been easy, but it's been worth it. So a lot of people they see the success, but they don't see the background. They don't see the hours. They don't see the grind. They don't see the struggle. And that's something I do want to make, this is not to get rich quick and all that. I love it, but it doesn't build your character. So I really love the route that we took in our journey, because it's really built me to who we are today. So that's it. We can dig more into it, but so again, we have I'm a broker, property manager, brokerage company. We've been in business since 2006 with Great Lakes Property Management, and I am hoping to continue to grow. And along the way, Clarence and I call this our ministry, because it's not just us helping ourselves. We're feeding families, we're helping other people, and that's our ministry, is to bring other people along the way. So.
All right. That is beautiful. And yes, we will definitely have to dive deeper into your story. And shoot, that's another topic right there. I wrote that down. Failure is not final. So that's another topic that you all will have to discuss on a future episode. So Astoria, with your story, we got a little glimpse of that from your college years, it sounds like, because you're still doing what you were doing in college now, but of course you expanded on it, and you took it to new levels. So go ahead and talk about that. Talk about after college and how you built upon your cosmetology business, from just doing it, in the dorm room, to being on TV screens all around the nation.
Well, all I can say is I enjoy what I do. I love what I do. I enjoy making people feel good. And I have learned how to use that. I hate to say it this way, but to my advantage, right? In order for me to maneuver through life. So I worked for a company when I got out of school. I worked for a company called Hair Club for Men and Women. You probably have heard of it before. And so I was doing hair replacement before it was cool how it is now. Like all over social media. I was doing it when it was like quiet, kept. Oh my God, no one's supposed to know. And from there moved on to working at Great Clips. And I still work on my corporate side of the position for Great Clips, but all the while building my own brand. And so I think of myself as a brand, like I am a brand, what I do as a brand. So they're two separate entities. And so the easiest way I can say it is I get paid to be me. I get paid to do what I do. Like that's pretty much how it is. And it's like serial entrepreneur stuff because I'm great at marketing. I do marketing, social media, stuff like that. I'm good at what I do. I can do rebranding, all that stuff. But I'm also at heart a hairstylist that works in my sweet space and does healing for many women and men. And so I guess with Great Clips, it was one of those things where I opened up 2 salons for them. I had already been working in the industry. I opened 2 salons for them. So learning the business side of it and working a franchise with a great owner. I had a good owner where he was like, the business is yours. I'm just doing the money, right? So literally it was more of, we went through the hiccups together. Like, oh, this didn't work right. We lost this. Let's do this. So, and he was actually a banker, he still works for Bank of America to this day. And so it was really cool, the dynamic that I was able to build with them. And kind of, he knew when he hired me, my vision of what I wanted. He knew that this wasn't just a job for me. This was like, we're going to build from this and here's what I want to do. And from there, I went on to work into corporate. And that's kind of how I got to be on TV I work for a white brand, you guys. Let's just be real. I am the dot, at the brand. Well, I was for a long time. There was a different kind of dot that was there, which was Native American, Indian, right? Still brown, my melanated sister, but she was the dot. There was no me dot. And so all I can say is that my experiences have taught me to code switch very well and be in rooms with some heavy hitters and you just a fly on the wall. They don't really notice that you're there, but you're not there. And so I'm grateful that my name my name is spoken in places that I haven't even been in because of, what I do and the passion that I bring to what I do. So, if you saw March Madness and you saw a Great Clips commercial, you saw me. If you saw the Olympics last year for Winter Olympics, you saw me. And that's helped me to build relationships with other barbers and cosmetologists in the industry and help them on the financial side is the other part that I like doing is having my, my show and talking about it because I feel like we don't talk about it in our communities. And so I'm so glad that we're doing this. I feel like that kind of wraps us up, kind of that we're doing this and we're being able to share real life experiences and real life stories, not what people see on the internet, because you only get a glimpse on the internet. Like you just think that they woke up and became successful, and that is not what happens in real life. And we probably still gonna fail 30,000 more times. But like Tanya said, failure is just a lesson. It is not it's not the finish line. It's just the next step to the next thing. We're gonna fail 1,000 more times. That's okay.
Yeah.
We're just gonna keep going.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good stuff because, I think back over my life and how much I failed. I've had businesses that I've started, they didn't take off. Some businesses that I had, I gave up, I failed, I never made money on it. But, I think about how what I've done, in the past in my businesses, my entrepreneur spirit, and like you said, in the corporate world. And now that I'm trying to go on the other side of, I'm trying to get to that 55. I got just 4 years. I really want to retire, but I'm trying to put some things together so that when I make 55, I can walk away from what I've been doing for, 30 years to go back into my own brand and things like that. So, I'm just really excited just being here on this panel with you ladies, and just I've learned so much just this first day that we've been together, this 1 hour. You all are amazing women. Got so much to offer. You've done a lot that we can't sum up in this 1 hour. So that's why I'm really excited that, we do have a whole, series that we're putting together, just being authentic us, right? And just being, real and having real talk. So I'm looking forward to the next time where we can really dive in deeper into some of the things that we talked about today, just on the surface, but we can go deeper into all those failures. What did you do? How did you fail? How did you overcome the failures? That kind of thing. So I'm so excited, to be a part of this panel with you all. You all are some amazing women, smart, beautiful, just have so much to offer the world. So we're about to do this. Who ruled the world? Girls. That's all I got.
The women are here. The women are here.
Yes.
Right, who ruled the world, girl?
Yes.
So,
Yeah, so let's get ready to close out, but let's take a commercial break first, and then we'll be right back with Bet on Black.
Hello, everyone. We're the Barkers.
Good afternoon. And we're part of the Urban X family.
Yes. And listening to Black Dot and Malcolm's show, we heard about DJ the Money Coach, and we had our first consulting meeting last night with him. And let me just say, it went very well.
Spectacular.
Yes. I was pleased with all the information that we received. He helped us with giving us a snapshot of things that we could do immediately. And of course, we're going to be following up with him for more consulting meetings. But I encourage anyone who's interested in reaching financial goals that they're not doing on their own, or just wanting more information about all parts, whether that's debt freedom or investments or whatever your reasoning is, just to improve your financial picture, I would encourage you to reach out and definitely take advantage of the deal that DJ the Money Coach is offering.
I must say from the heart, very honestly, he's a very profound person in what he's putting forward in terms of information. Very transparent, and as well as his personal skills is at a very senior level, high level. He sets the bar. He doesn't come across as somebody trying to sell you a scam or trying to get over on you. He showed me certain things that convinced me to know that he's very revealing of himself personally.
And that's without seeing his webinar.
That's without seeing his webinar. Very convincing. I would encourage anyone who's interested in structuring their finances and getting it together on the real. I would encourage you to get with this guy, because he seems like he knows his business. And trust me, his key word is discipline, your finances.
And accountability.
If you can adopt to those two words, then
you should be very successful.
Yeah, exactly.
With any goals that you set financially.
Exactly.
All right, and welcome back to Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy, the brand new series brought to you by DJ the Money Coach. So you heard all of the women's stories. You're looking at 3 successful Black women with unique backstories and experiences. And this ain't it. They still got goals and endeavors to achieve in the near future. So that's what I'm excited about as well. But we're going to go ahead and close out. And what I want the ladies to do is think about the entire backstory that you all gave, from your early life up to where you are currently. And if you can tie your story together into maybe a theme or a lesson that you can leave the audience with, what would that be? And I'll let I know we went in order the entire show, but I know you might need a little bit of time to think about that. But if anybody wants to jump in, go ahead and jump on in.
I go first. I've been saying it the whole time. Failure is not final. I say that wraps me up. My whole thing. Failure is not final. Don't give up. You gotta keep going, keep the faith, and you'll get there. So
okay, and Tanya, before we toss it over to the next lady, why don't you go ahead and is there anything that you want to promote or leave the audience with? We'll go ahead and make this your closeout.
All righty. Again, my name is Tanya Archibald, and I am just so honored and thankful to be sharing this platform with Cheryl and Astoria, and you, Nick, is an amazing platform. And again, like Cheryl said, you are some beautiful, intelligent, just women, and I'm looking forward to just having further discussions with you and learning from you guys. Again, like I said, we are lifelong learners, and I know that you all have so much to offer, and that I'm going to learn so much from you ladies. So again, Tanya Archibald, I'm with Great Lakes Property Management Group, LLC, out here in Detroit. We are a full service property management and real estate company. Again, you can look us up at www.greatlakespmg.com. And again, we're a full service real estate company. We can help you with all your real estate needs, including property management. If you want to sell a house, rehabbing, or just consulting, we do it all. We call ourselves from womb to tomb. We get from the beginning of real estate transaction to an end. So again, www.greatlakespmg.com.
Okay, all right. Who's next? Cheryl Astoria, who wants to go next?
Yeah, I'll go. And you know what? So what I want to leave with the listeners, especially young people, is that where you start doesn't have to be where you end. Okay, you start with the end in mind. So unlike the other ladies on the panel here, I grew up, didn't have a lot of money. I grew up in a single family, a single mom household with 5 kids. So we didn't have a lot. Okay, but just because we started like that doesn't mean that that's where we end, because my siblings and I, all of us are very successful. All of us are educated. All of us have degrees. So we're degreed and we're educated. Okay. We have beautiful, communities and homes that we live in. We're all, our families are, we're leading our families, the kids, the parents, all intact. All of us are, are 6-figure earners or more, so just because you start a certain way doesn't mean that you have to end there. So I'd say to anybody that, may start out with a little bit of, on the lower socioeconomic scale, just keep doing the great things, keep learning, networking, reading whatever you can on all types of leadership books on, just the world. Look at autobiographies, read those, just do whatever you have to do to just instill in yourself that you can do it, you can make it. And I'm still growing. I'm 53 this year in just a few months, and I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I'm still trying to get there. I have not arrived. And just so many mistakes that I've made along the way, but I still have a great life in spite of all those things. So that's what I would leave. I'll share a little bit more about some things that I'm trying to do later on in the series. So right now unlike Tanya, I don't have anything to point to, but those things are coming to fruition. So I'm working on it, and we'll share a little bit more in the future.
Okay. We look forward to it too. All right, Astoria, go ahead and round this out for us.
I will, but before I round it out, I'm gonna say, Cheryl, you not trying, girl, you doing. We change our vocabulary because we speak things to existence.
Yes.
What I say is impossible is just an option. Don't buy in. That would be my story.
Right.
And it's been a running theme is nothing is impossible, because impossible literally breaks down to I'm possible, period.
right.
So that is the message that I would leave.
Yes.
That's the message that I would leave with the audience, with the listeners. I look forward to all the stuff that's going to happen in these conversations. This is going to be absolutely amazing. Nick, you already know what I'm going to plug. Money Mondays, every single Monday, 6 p.m. Central Time, Standard Time. We're gonna talk about money and finances, but from a very sincere, basic level, really talking to our Black people about being more financially savvy, learning the lingo, those things, and actually talking about things from real people, real entrepreneurs. It is kind of catered around creatives. So, it's for that, but it's for everybody. Also, if you want to look me up, my social media is Miss_Story. So MS_STORI on Instagram and Twitter. On Facebook, it's Astoria 2Q Stubbs. You can find me any of those ways. If you like to book me for any of your spiritual or hair services, I do travel. I do all those things. Your girl, I get paid to be me, right? Like I said.
Go girl, all right. That's all right.
So you can find all my links on my social media if you want to book me, all those things. I just reach out. So yeah, that's me.
There you go.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yep. And of course, all that information is in the description, so you can look there as well. So you have been in tune for the first episode of a phenomenal show, Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy. And since this is the 7 spheres of money, and we're going to end it the same way like we always do. I'll end it in a minute, but I also got to plug in our other shows. Make sure you, of course, like this video. We already know you love this video. Go ahead and share it, because we know you liked it. We know you enjoyed it. You watched all of it. You got a lot of gems from it. You're excited about what's to come with this new series. So go ahead and like and share it, and go ahead and subscribe to the 7 Spheres of Money on YouTube. And of course, follow us on Instagram, 7 Spheres of Money. Our website is DJThemoneycoach.com. And tune in to our weekly programs. We're with you all week. Join us on Mondays for Medical Mondays with Dr. Sylvia Hollowell. Tune into the DJ the Money Coach Financial Expert Series. Tune into our weekly webinar series. Also, Astoria Story. Tune into Bet on Black, the men, the family, the legacy, the men's version of this show that you're watching right now. Tune into Mixed Knowledge and Notions, and then close out your week on your weekend before you go into the work week with the sisters here on Bet on Black, the women, the family, and the legacy. So until the next show, we wish you a pom-pom lifestyle that is plenty of money, peace of mind, and we want you to come join us on the Beaches of the World Club. And your beach may not be next to sand or water, but your beach is wherever you find freedom and peace and your peace of mind. You have been watching Bet on Black, the women, the family, the legacy, and we will see you next time.
This is DJ the Money Coach. Thank you for celebrating our 1-year anniversary with us. Thank you for the emails, the videos, and the phone calls. Most importantly, congratulations for the hundreds of people who actually acquired the course. Now it's time to take it to the next level. That's right. Millionaire, Money Made. I'm actually going to teach you live how to earn that 800 credit score through the Family Finance 101 course. I'm going to teach the live 3-hour course to you. That's right. After I do that, we're actually going to bring you 3 steps to success: business, real estate, and leverage the tax laws. And once we achieve that, we're going to show you how to earn with a little bit of investment in the market up to an 80% return, cash on cash return on your money. After we achieve that, we're going to show you how to earn with a minimum investment of $7,500, how to get you to $850 a month in passive income. On top of that, we're going to give you 2 live Zoom trainings with Leonard Ray, 7-figure Forex trainer since 2007, Clarence and Tanya, 7-figure income earners through real estate, over 200 properties they own, and retired at the young age of 40 and 42. All you have to do is register now. Hit that link below, and you'll become part of the Millionaire Money Making May exclusively with Erica Williams and the Classy Climb, brought to you by DJ the Money Coach and the 7 Spheres of Money team. So don't you deserve to be a millionaire next door, consumer debt free, cash and credit? Absolutely. Hit the link.
Toledo Organic Tequila is so crisp, so incredibly smooth, it's simply in a category by itself. This is luxury. Life tastes better naturally, so should your tequila. This is Toledo. Enjoy responsibly. Visit ToledoTequila.com to get your bottle of Toledo Organic Tequila. Get a 10% discount on DJ the Money Coach by entering promo code MONEY at checkout. Again, that's ToledoTequila.com, promo code MONEY to get 10% off your Toledo purchase.